All right. It has been a wild. Sorry, I have a lozenge. It's been a wild 48 hours in the NBA. I didn't have time to make any graphics. I didn't have any of this other stuff that I usually do. I said, let's just go on a website. Let's look over the trades. I don't remember a trade deadline this insane. This insane. And yesterday night, I'm exhausted from all the trades and everything else that's going on. The Knicks made a trade finally for Josh Hart, and we're going to get over that trade shortly, but I'm about to go to sleep. It's about 1:30 in the morning. And everybody in all my WhatsApp chats, and I'm in a lot of WhatsApp chats, no one's talking. I go to check something because I was waiting for an answer for something completely different. And a friend of mine puts KD to the Suns, ? My first response was, you're out of your mind. Because he likes to talk crap and gaslight and all this other stuff. And he shared the article and a screenshot. So of course I go to Twitter. I go to ESPN. 1:30 in the morning. I was about to go to sleep. 1:30 in the morning. Woj drops that bomb. That absolute bomb. Absolute bomb. So not only have you shifted the East because the Nets with KD, the Nets with Kyrie, would they have beat the Bucks or the Celtics? I don't think so. But stranger things have happened, right? You lose Kyrie Irving to the Mavericks, and his first game without Luka went very well. They beat the Clippers in LA. Kyrie pretty much was playing the role of Luka, just moving without the ball. He's just a natural, just such a talented player. He's not, his mind, there's still a need for drama in his life, and we've talked about this extensively. Good win. The Mavs improved themselves, and for whatever reason, that singular trade, like the butterfly effect, created a cascade, a flurry of other moves, an arms race of one. It was insanity. It was Black Friday for the NBA. Black Friday, absolute insanity. Just thinking back, it was one after another. And then on the actual trade deadline, the trade deadline was Thursday. What is it today? The 9th? Today's the 9th. Thursday, February 9th at 3 p.m. And from the moment that I woke up, me, my cousin, and my brother have like an NBA chat. It was trying to one-up each other in a sense of announcing trades. We were talking for about 4 hours. And this is, so it was, okay. Somebody on ESPN wrote or stated, only 2 NBA teams did not participate in the trade. That's going to be a great trivia question for the future. Chicago and Cleveland. Chicago makes no sense. They're not doing well. But they made the same calculation I feel like the Raptors did. Now that the Nets have been broken up, they have a shot to go upward. Chicago, I'm talking about, and the Raptors, who have just disappointed mightily this year. And they didn't decide to make a trade. Cleveland made their big move in the offseason. They had no assets. They gave up 5 or 6 first-round picks. No, they gave up 3 picks, 2 pick swaps, and a litany of young players to get Donovan Mitchell. They had nothing left in the cupboard. They were thinking about a Okoro, but whatever, we go on. 28 other teams made a trade. It's insanity. So I'm going to go through here quickly. I don't want to be here forever, just in case you missed the news or anything else. Kyrie goes to the Mavericks. What does this do for them? For Kyrie going to the Mavericks, it is like last year with Jalen Brunson, but a little bit better, obviously. Kyrie's a better player than Jalen. Let's not dispute that. He's not a very good defender. He's engaged. He can strip the ball and do other things. As I'm getting another text about the NBA. He can do a lot of great things on the defensive side of the ball, but he's not a defender. And they lost Dorian Finney-Smith, which was their best wing defender. In the NBA, if you don't have wing defenders, you have no shot. So they're going to have to outscore everybody. Do I want my team in the NBA to go against Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic in a 7-game series? Absolutely not. That's terrifying. Now, could I see a scenario where they make the NBA Finals? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Because Luka has dropped 60 in the game. I think Kyrie has dropped 60 in the game. Everybody else is just perimeter shooters at this point. Just shoot from the outside, make your open shot, defend like if it's your life, and see what happens. So Kyrie to the Mavs is a definite upgrade. Without Kyrie going there, they probably at best make the play-in tournament. And who knows what happens, but with Kyrie, I do think that they climb. So this is the trade. Kyrie, Markieff for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a bunch of draft picks. The Nets get the best thing that they can get. Go away. The Nets get the best thing that they can get for the situation. And again, in their mindset, I think they made this trade with the hopes that KD would stay. And they got the best thing that they could get. And I still think it's a good trade. Irrelevant. These are bit players. We move on. Irrelevant. A bit player. And the trades are going to keep coming. This is a bigger one. Mainly for the market. That's an awful picture for Russell Westbrook, by the way. And here are the particulars. It's a huge trade. It's Russell Westbrook, Damian Jones, Juan Toscano-Anderson, a first-round pick that the Lakers have been not trying to trade for two years now. That everybody's been trying to get these picks, but it's protected 1 to 4, and that goes to the Jazz. The Jazz they're selling off assets. They're accumulating more draft picks. They have the most first-round draft picks of any team in the NBA, even more than the OKC Thunder. So Sam Presti is being out-prestied by Danny Ainge. Timberwolves get Mike Conley Jr., an adult in the room. They've had maturity issues in the Timberwolves, and I think this is a good pickup for them. Alexander Walker, underrated. I feel like SGA was a throw-in a trade at one point, and I think this kid can be like a diamond in the rough. He's a good player. And they got 2 second-round picks, and the Lakers got the best players in the trade, which means you won the trade. They got D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley. Jared Vanderbilt is an amazing wing defender. Malik Beasley can spread the floor, and D'Angelo Russell can spread the floor. This brings the Lakers from they're 13th in the West right now. I think with these trades, it gets them in that 6 to 8 range. Best case scenario, 5 to 8 range. Again, the West is loaded. It's absolutely loaded. So this trade does not make them better than the elite teams. And they have a pretty difficult schedule. But it does, in terms of that bunch at the bottom, this makes them the best of that bottom bunch, in my opinion. And the Timberwolves are actually in that bottom bunch. So, yeah, it's a good trade. And all three are D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley are all free agents. So they can, if it goes well this year, if they play their role, they can keep them and extend them, or they can move on, potentially do a sign-and trade. Timberwolves, like I said, it's a good trade for them. They get an adult in the room to help them. It's a young team. It helps Anthony Edwards. And again, it shows again that this is Anthony Edwards' team. That's it. He's the franchise. Nobody else is relevant on that team but Anthony Edwards. This helps him, gets him a vet to help him kind of go through things. Russell Westbrook is going to get bought out. ESPN, other people are saying, look out for Miami, look out for Chicago, look out for the LA Clippers, who I think the favorite because of their trades that they made. They have no point guards in their team. So it might be a wink, get bought out, and then you get to come to LA situation, because he was teammates with Paul George, who has made overtures already for him to come to LA. So we'll see how it goes. Big one, hometown team of the Knicks get Josh Hart. This is a very good pickup. They get rid of people that were not playing: Cam Reddish, Fai Mahalik, Ryan Archidiakono, and a first-round pick. But this first-round pick it's pretty brilliant by Leon Rose. I didn't like it at first, but when I think about it, it's pretty badass and brilliant. So it's lottery protected. So essentially, if the Knicks do not make the playoffs, and that means like if they get into the play-in and they get bounced, they get into the lottery. They keep that pick. They keep that pick. If they get into the playoffs, that pick conveys, and the Blazers get that pick. The Blazers on the sly are starting to tank. They see that this is not a team that is designed to win yet. So on the low, without trying to piss off Damian Lillard, it's a trade. The trades that they've made were signs that they have given up on the season. I think they're 10th right now in the West. But Josh Hart is the best rebounding guard in the NBA, 6'5" and under. Tibbs loves rebounding. He's a hustler. Tibbs loves hustlers. He's a defender. Tibbs loves defenders. He's not that great of a three-point shooter. So this is a Tibbs guy. And this is also, if you think of the politics and you look at the chess moves being made, this is a sign of confidence for Tibbs because they are giving him ammunition to try to win now. And the edict by James Dolan, when he was interviewed, is I want to get into the playoffs. So this is a by any means necessary type of situation here, because giving up a first round pick in 2023 in a loaded draft is a big offer. But again, you can't lose here. If you lose in the playoffs and you don't get into the playoffs and this blows up in their face, they get their pick back. If it doesn't and they make the playoffs and they do well, it was a good move. So it's a win-win situation. Here, the Raptors get back their draft pick, Jacob Poletti. They didn't give up much. They gave up a first-round pick and 2 second-round picks. This is the center that everybody was fawning over. Good low-post game. Good offensive center. Plays pretty decent defense. I think once they made this trade, I was like, this is a sign that they're going for it this year. And again, this goes back to what I said before, that since the Nets dropped KD and Kyrie, that means that in their minds that the East is wide open. And there is a potential to move up. So this is a rearmament or rearming their team. I think this helps them. And we'll see where it goes from there. He's a good young player, and let's see if they can make a run. They are currently out of the playoffs. This is the big one. This blew up the NBA. This domino fell and hysteria broke out. Hysteria broke out over 20 trades. And this is what started it all. Huge. The ramifications for this trade, huge. I had to go download an ad blocker because these ads were killing me. Kevin Durant, I was going to Garnett. Kevin Durant to the Suns is major. I think the Suns right now were 4th or 5th in the West. This elevates them to top 3, top 2. This makes them a title contender instantly. Obviously still concerned with Chris Paul. I do think that they need to get somebody else because he's close to being washed. He's not there yet. I don't think he's there yet, but he's pretty close. The Nets get who they wanted last year for Kevin Durant. Originally, when this drama started, when Kevin Durant asked to be traded, and originally the Suns did not want to part with Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson in any trade. And with this new owner that came in, he was like, I want Kevin Durant or I'm getting someone who's going to get him for me. It sounded like an ultimatum. By any means necessary, essentially, because that's what this was. They gave them everything but their wallet and their girlfriends. This is a huge haul for the Nets in terms of the situation. So they got a lot of their draft picks back that they lost when they tried to get James Harden. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 2 very good young players. Jay Crowder, who was flipped later to the Bucks for 5 picks. So essentially this is Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 unprotected first-round picks, a pick swap in 2028, and 5 second-round picks. So this is huge. This is exactly what you would think a top 3 player in the NBA would get you. So this vaults the Suns to, like I said, title contention. I think it's completely possible that they come out of the West. The West is wide open now. I don't know who the hell's going to win. It's like a brand new season. It's like starting all over from scratch. So it should be very interesting. But let's not stay on it too long. They have to stay healthy. Chris Paul has injury issues. Devin Booker has injury issues. Kevin Durant has injury issues. They lost their best wing defender. So we'll see how it goes. Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets. They got to upgrade over DeAndre Jordan. They get Thomas Bryant, who probably is only going to be a rental because Thomas Bryant is going to get the Brinks truck. A very physical big who can spread the floor with 3-point shots. He's going to give some time off to the Joker. And I think it's a great get for the Nuggets. I think it's no one's really talking about this move, but I do think that this helps them out quite a bit. Celtics get Mike Muscala, another team that, they beat the Sixers without 4 of their starters, some crazy thing like that. And Jason Tatum only had 12 points, so it makes it probably the deepest team in the NBA that much deeper. He can spread the floor. Al Horford cannot play in back-to-back games. We already know the Time Lord that he has injury issues, so this is really good move by the Celtics. Underrated. And these are the top 2 contenders, the Nuggets and the Celtics, to meet in the finals. They're the top 2 teams in the NBA currently. So these are quiet moves. They didn't have to do a lot because they're playing well. So they got better on the margin. So this is a very good get for both teams. Very good. So this is what I was telling you about, that they traded Jay Crowder after getting him. The Nets did, and got 5 second rounders. This helps the Bucks immensely. They've been chasing Jay Crowder for a year now. This feels very similar to when they got PJ Tucker and then made a run for the championship. He's a 3-and-D wing. He's one of the best ones in the NBA. He has not played in 9 months. So how good is he? Does he have anything left? Who the hell knows? We don't know. He doesn't have to do much. He can come off the bench, gives good minutes, frustrate the other team's best perimeter player, get under their skin, what he does, and let the guys, the offensive players, take the load. It's a good pickup. This was a 3-way trade. Pacers getting George Hill, Ibaka, who they waived, Jordan Nwora, and 3 second-round picks. This is very good. I thought the Nets got the 5 second-round picks. Excuse me. They get 2, and the other 3 go to the Pacers to help facilitate the trade. George Hill is back to the team that drafted him, right? Serge Ibaka, like I said, got waived, and Jordan Nwora is a really good young player who can spread the floor. Not really getting much time because you're playing on the Bucks, and they have a deep team that's trying to get a championship, so he's not going to get much time. So good moves by all 3 teams. They all got what they wanted, so very good. Matisse Thybulle gets traded, elite perimeter defender, potentially the best perimeter defender in the NBA, can't shoot. So he has one skill set, which is defending, but he doesn't bring anything on the offensive end, and that's a problem in the NBA. You need to be multifaceted to be able to get playing time. So the Sixers got sick of him, and they traded him to the Blazers, who just, like I said, lost Josh Hart, so they replaced him with Matisse Thybulle. So you don't lose anything on the defensive end. You lose a little bit on the offensive end, but again, you got Damian Lillard. You got Jeremy Grant. You have Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharpe is what I was thinking of. So they have 2 young players, and you put him. Matisse Thybulle doesn't need to score. He has 4 other people around him that are willing scorers, and he just has to defend the best offensive player on the other side. So I think it's a good get for the Blazers. The Knicks, who had sent Sri Mahalik as a filler for the trade, he gets flipped again, so he got traded twice in one day. He goes to the Hornets with second-round picks. Jalen McDaniels is underrated, a really springy guy. I think this is another gem, a hidden gem here. I think the Sixers did good getting out of Matisse Thybulle, and Jalen McDaniels, I think, can bring them what Matisse brought and more. He's going to get coached up by Doc, and he has Embiid behind him, which is going to make him take more risk and be more aggressive defensively. So I think this is a really good get for actually all 3 teams did pretty well. Well, I would say the Hornets lost that to give up on Jalen McDaniels and just get 2 second round picks. I don't like it. This was a shocking one. This was quite shocking for me. I knew Sadiq Bey was in the rumor mill, but I just thought that the Pistons were fronting and were not going to move him. This was mid. This was big. This was very, very big. So they gave up on Sadiq Bey and they got James Wiseman. So they basically flipped Sadiq Bey for James Wiseman. Why they need another center, I don't know. Does this say that Jalen Duren is just not that guy? I'm not sure about that. They said James Wiseman is going to start right away. And this is actually good for him. Somebody on ESPN mentioned it's not the end of the world if he misses a layup. It's not the end of the world if he misses a box out. Like, he's going to be there to be coached. He's going to be there to be developed. This is kind of the place that I wish Obi Toppin would have gone, because you need a place where young players can kind of just figure their game out. Like, it's not like you're thrust into a situation where you have to know exactly where to go at exactly the right time. You get yelled at and you get pulled. I mean, that doesn't build confidence. So the Pistons are a great organization in a sense of giving young players the time to get their feet wet and to get used to it. Not everybody can come out the gate and they're a pro from day one. It's not easy. So I think this is a good move for James Wiseman. I think it's going to get his feet wet. I think he's going to be able to do some rim rolls. He's going to be able to get some touches in the paint. So it's going to be really good. Sadiq Bey gets added to a Hawks team that is trying to get out of the play-in situation. They're currently in the play-in situation. They would like to get into the top 6 teams. And this definitely helps because what did they give up? Second round picks? So they were the ones that probably gave up the second round picks. They don't need those second round picks. So this is a big haul, because originally I thought Sadiq Bey would go for at least a first round pick. So that was surprising. The Warriors getting Gary Payton II, they needed him. They missed this guy. If you watch the Warriors, they have no oomph. They have nobody that is really trying on the defensive end. That second unit is just absolutely awful. And you could tell that they missed him when they were doing the ring ceremony and Gary Payton is hugging everybody, biting on his ring, and all the Warriors were celebrating with him. All the Blazers were kind of like, what are you doing over there? It was a weird like vibe that I was getting out of it. So I think they all read the writing on the wall that his home is Golden State. And he has not measured up to that contract, to be honest with you. Like, they gave him a lot of money. What is it, $36 million for 3 years, something like that? He has not played well. And I just didn't think he vibed with the Blazers for whatever reason. So he goes back home. And I think this is a great, great get for the Warriors. They're making a push to repeat. I think it's going to be really difficult to repeat. But again, once you get into the playoffs and you get that pressure on you, if you've never been there before, it's hard to learn how to win. The Warriors know how to win. So we'll see if this gives them a jolt of energy. Curry is still going to be out for a while. So we'll see how that goes. This was a weird situation because Bones Highland, whenever I watched him play, he was like a microwave. He's very similar to Emmanuel Quickly from the Knicks, Lou Williams, stringy guy. He doesn't need much to heat up. He needs like 3 seconds to heat up. This guy can drop 20 points in like 5-10 minutes really easily. Apparently he clashed with Mike Malone. And again, this was bound to happen. This is a young, cocky player, and you have to be cocky to want to shoot the ball as much as he did. But this is Joker's team. This is Murray's team. Aaron Gordon. They just Michael Porter Jr. So I just think that they just had too many hands in the pot. He didn't get a chance to really shine. I mean, I don't think this is a great situation because he's going from one crowded team with a lot of stars and a certain pecking order to another team with a pecking order with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. And until Westbrook secures that buyout and potentially goes to the Clippers, Bones Highland is going to be asked to play a lot of point guard. So it should be very interesting. Him over Reggie Jackson, I think it's a push, to be honest with you. Reggie Jackson could also be a microwave, and he's also best friends with Paul George. So I don't understand what the Clippers were doing. Maybe they felt FOMO and just felt left out. I have no idea. Very interesting. Like I said, I don't know where this is going to go. This was perplexing, to say the least. So it was only for 2 second-round picks. That's quite remarkable. The Hawks, this is like nothing. Okay, this is irrelevant. Mo Bamba goes to the Lakers, and Patrick Beverley goes to Orlando. Patrick Beverley is obviously going to get waived. He is not trying to play in Orlando. Apparently, they said that if he gets waived, he's going to go to the T-Wolves, which is very interesting. Mo Bamba takes the spot of Thomas Bryant. He can also spread the floor. He's 7'3" or 7'4". He's a rim protecting backup big. He can back up Anthony Davis. God, I'm tripping. So it's good that everybody can spread the floor. He's a good 3-point shooter and he's a good rim protector. Some maturity issues, but he's gonna be playing in LA. He's gonna have to mature really fast. So we'll see. This is a great trade. The Clippers get Mason Plumlee. They were actually asking the Knicks about Isaiah Hartenstein. So this is a great trade for the Clippers. Mason Plumlee, Mr. Ambidextrous, can shoot right-handed or left-handed. Look it up. He's the only player that I remember in the NBA that can do that. Like shoot. Like he can shoot right-handed or left-handed. It's crazy. And he's a veteran big. He's just, you plug him in any team in the NBA, he's gonna do well. He is just any system, any situation. He's a banger. He's a rebounding just god out there. Like he's a very good defender. He's so mature for the locker room. Like he's just a great vet. They're gonna lose out on Reggie Jackson. Like I said, Paul George's best friend. Reggie was not playing the best this year, but it's tough with so many hands to feed. And Reggie's a scoring point guard. He's obviously gonna get bought up by the Hornets. Where he's gonna go? Maybe I think Miami would be a good place for him. To be honest with you, if he decides to go somewhere, Miami or Chicago, I think are the best two options. So do you want warm weather or do you want Chicago's pizza? We'll see what Reggie Jackson does. I don't see him going anywhere else. Eric Gordon, who's been begging for a trade, I feel like for the last decade. When people would interview him, it was just eye rolls, and I hate being, you could read it all over his body. He just despised this young, it's a team full of like junior high school kids, and he's the one adult. It's the absolute worst. And you gotta feel bad for him after a while because he's a vet. You know, he can shoot off the dribble. He can spot up shoot. No drama with him. No family issues. Like this guy is just plug and play. You put him right into any team, similar to Mason Plumlee, and watch it go off. Again, it's weird because they have a whole bunch of wings. So I don't know. The Clippers. Ty Lue is just, he's different. I think he's the best coach in the NBA. He makes the most in-game adjustments. He's just like a master scientist playing around with things. He's similar. I think Ty Lue reminds me a lot of what Don Nelson used to do, and just going against, and D'Antoni going against convention. He tends to close the game with 5 wings. So if that's the situation, that's what he likes. They have wings for days. Wings for days. Terrence Mann, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Eric Gordon, Norman Powell, tons and tons. They have the most wings of any team in the NBA. They can throw wings at your fouls. Don't matter. We'll just get the next guy up. Fouls don't matter. So it should be very interesting, and I'm sure he'll be happy to be playing with professionals and not babysitting anymore. Danny Green is going to get bought out by the Rockets. John Wall is going to get bought out by the Rockets. This is a money move by the Rockets and allows them a first-round pick swap. So Rockets are getting a lot of those pick swaps. I think the Rockets GM, Raphael something, I can't remember, has done a great job in building assets. I think he needs to add some vets now because it's like elementary school there. They're not learning. They're learning bad habits from each other. They need some vets to push them and to kind of scold them and to kind of, keep them in check. So we'll see how that goes. Grizzlies get Luke Kennard, who last year was the NBA's best 3-point shooter. I think it's a good get for them. He spreads the floor. He has not played well this year. He is not the same player that he was from last year. And again, it might be a situation where there's just so many wings, so many players, like you're in for a few minutes and then you're out. It's hard to get into a rhythm. So I think the Grizzlies are buying on the cheap, and I think he's going to be a good addition for them to help, like I said, spread the floor. And they were originally trying to get OG Anunoby, but the asking price by the Raptors, Masai Ujiri, Satan himself, another Danny Ainge clone, he was just playing with everybody. The one team that everybody thought was going to trade, he played everybody off because now he has the value for every one of his players, and he can revisit it at the end of the year. So we'll see how it goes. Devontae Graham, started with the Hornets, went to the Pelicans, and now is in the Spurs. I don't know. His career is kind of fizzing out. He's also a fast microwave type shooter, scorer. The Pelicans get a very good 3D wing. This is going to help them in the stretch run. Again, this is the arms race, so everybody's adding something. Josh Richardson is, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". Decent, pretty good three-point shooter, 35%, give or take. So he's a good player, can attack the rim. So the Pelicans got a really good player, and they got to upgrade there. Darius Beasley, Sarge, non-factors. Okay, so those were the trades. Like I said, this was in a matter of 48 to 24, 48, 72 hours, give or take. So I want to go quickly to the NBA. I want to show the standings. All right, so I've moved over to the right side. It's always bugging me when I'm on the opposite side, but it's fine. So the Celtics improved with their trade. They got that center to spread the floor. The Bucks improved with their trade for Jay Crowder. Sixers, it could be, I think they're a push. I don't think they got worse or got better with that trade. The Cavaliers didn't make any trades, so they're a push. The Nets got worse, obviously, but I still think that they have a shot at making at least the play-in because they built such a cushion with Kyrie and KD. So they have a good shot at still making the play-in. That's why a lot of the other teams made the moves that they did, because they saw that the Nets are more than likely going to drop, and it's going to open up at least a spot on the top. Miami, New York, Atlanta are going to be the three teams fighting to get those fifth and sixth seed, and it's pretty close between all of them. You see, Atlanta is two behind in the loss column to the Knicks, 3 behind to Miami. Brooklyn should drop. I don't know how much they're going to drop, but they're going to drop. So that'll be interesting. Miami, they traded Dwayne Dedmon. I mean, they didn't get anybody big that they needed. They might be in the market for Reggie Jackson or Russell Westbrook or even Danny Green. So we'll see if any of them make. They need the buyout market essentially to make any kind of moves and see what they can get. Nobody bid on Duncan Robinson, who has one of the top 3, along with Ben Simmons, worst contracts in the NBA. My New York Knicks, adding Josh Hart, adds a capable 3-and-D rebounder defender, and you can never have too many of those. I do think that this affects RJ Barrett. I don't think that he's going to be closing games as often as he would like, because now you can put Josh Hart and Emmanuel Quickly, if he's cooking, out there on the perimeter, or you can do Quentin Grimes with Hart or Quentin Grimes with Quickly. Like, there's a lot of different options. So I think RJ's piece of the pie just got smaller. His defense has been atrocious this year. The metrics say that that's a point of fact. So we'll see how it goes. And this may be a situation that if RJ is not happy, his poison pill amendment will end at the end of the finals. So they'll be able to move him in the offseason if it's an issue, because this front office and this ownership group has time and time again has picked the coach over the players. Nobody in the NBA does that. Coaches are expendable, players are not. And this, in the bizarre world that is James Dolan, Madison Square Garden, they do the opposite. So we'll see how it goes. Atlanta Hawks, like I said, adding Sadiq Bey is such an upgrade here. It's a really good wing there. He doesn't have to do much. He's going to get a lot of open passes from DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. So that's going to be great for them. I think the Hawks are going to be right there in the conversation for top 6. They're going to have to leapfrog the Heat and the Knicks. So we'll see if they can do it. The Bulls, like I said, didn't make a trade. So we'll see how it goes. You got Levine, and I mean, Lonzo Ball is still injured. DeMar DeRozan is still there. I mean, there's a shot. I mean, I don't know. I think that they're destined to be a play-in team. I don't think they have a shot at the top 6, but stranger things have happened. The Raptors are going to make a push. I think the Raptors can overcome Atlanta, potentially. They're still in the play-in tournament, so you don't want to be in the play-in tournament in the East, because it is going to be rough. If the Knicks stay where they're at and they're going against the Raptors own the Knicks this year. They're 3-1. The Raptors play the Knicks very well. The Hawks, you know what they did to them in the playoffs. The only matchup I would want to see is with the Bulls, because the Knicks dominated the Bulls. So you don't want to be in that play-in situation. You don't want to chance it on one game. No, absolutely not. The Wizards, they had a streak for a while. Kyle Kuzma got injured. Beal is always injured. The Anthony Davis of the East. KP has his own injury issues. The team is just too injured. I don't see them doing anything this year, but I can be wrong. Pacers made a few trades. Let's see if they can make a run. Tyrese Halliburton was out for 10 games, so it really messed with their flow. They were up here. They were like 7, 8, 6, and that losing streak, they had like a 10-game losing streak, really messed them up. Orlando Magic, they're playing for the draft. The Hornets are definitely tanking, and the Pistons tank every year. So that's the East in a nutshell. The West, Denver Nuggets got screwed with that KD trade because now they were, I wouldn't say prohibitive favorites. I think them and the Grizzlies were really the only two realistic choices to leave the West. Now, no, it's the Suns, the Mavericks, the Grizzlies, and the Nuggets. The Kings have no shot. They don't know what winning is. They'll make it to the playoffs this year, but they're not gonna beat any of these teams in the playoffs. I don't see it. Mike Brown, pull up this tape and laugh at me if you want to, but I don't see them. I don't even see them winning the first round, to be honest. They're a very beatable team. Memphis Grizzlies talked a lot of smack all year, and yeah, the West has just kicked their ass. They asked Ja, who are you worried about? And he said the Celtics. They said, anybody in the West? He was like, the Celtics. So basically, spit on the rest of the team. So now you got competition. Now you got the Suns and everything else. The Clippers. We talked about the Mavericks and that trade that really vaults them. They're number 4. They can beat anybody. They can lose to anybody. It is going to be a toss-up. Can they get enough stops to win? Because their offense is going to be there. The three-point shooting is going to be there. We'll see how it goes. The Suns, KD, they're now in this discussion. They're in the top. Now it's a top 3. Denver, Memphis, and Phoenix. I mean, you got to think that they're going to be right there. You can't gel overnight. It's hard to make a trade in the middle of the season. I'm trying to think of another team that made a trade like that. I mean, off the top of my head, when Clyde Drexler got traded to the Rockets and they won the championship from the 6th seed, that was kind of like the funkiest run ever. It's really hard to make a trade, but Kevin Durant is pretty simple. Give him the ball and get out the way. I mean, he doesn't need much, so it should be a little bit easier transition than most. LA Clippers, they have no point guards. I don't know what they're doing. Like I said, unless it's a wink-wink situation and they want Russell Westbrook, but somebody on the Lakers said that he was a cancer. He was a vampire, sucked the blood out of everybody. Everybody hated him. So it was a bad situation. The crowd got on him last year because of his shooting. It was just, he's a tough guy mentally, man, because I don't know if I can deal with millions of people hating me. Maybe I could, who knows? Rush Limbaugh did it. Any politician that's been in public office has done it. I guess it's not impossible. The Pelicans got screwed with all their injuries. Zion, they gave him that max deal. He's feeling a little Anthony Davis-ish to me. His body type, I don't think is good for the NBA. He's just always injured, and it's always lower leg issues. So it might be a situation where they should explore trading him somewhere. I don't know. Maybe to Toronto. Maybe Toronto take it. I mean, you don't want to wait and then you get an asset that nobody wants. So if I was them, I would move him if I could. But we'll see what happens. Minnesota Timberwolves got an adult in the room, like I said, with Mike Conley. They're going to get back Cat, I think, after the All-Star break. So that's a big upgrade there. Rudy Gobert is still ass. Anthony Edwards is looking like an All-NBA first-teamer. Very good player. This is not their year to do anything. I think they have a shot at losing in the play-in again or winning the play-in. Who the hell knows? I don't think they're in the conversation for the top 6. No, I know they're not in the conversation for the top 6. Not yet. But they're fighting. They're fighting. Golden State Warriors, they need Curry back. They need to get healthy. Gary Payton II on their second unit gives them a spark, gives them some life. He can do a lot of things and wreak a lot of havoc for players. DiVincenzo has not done that on the defensive side of the ball, but DiVincenzo has been a nice add on the offensive side, so very interesting. Portland Trailblazers, they sold off their assets. They're tanking now. I mean, they may even be able to hold on to this 10th spot because below the Trailblazers is just hot garbage, except for the Lakers, who I think could make a run. Yeah, the Blazers are done. There's no way the Blazers are in this play-in tournament. Utah, traded a bunch of their role players. They're done. OKC got rid of Mike Muscala. They believe that they're done. I don't think they make a push. The Lakers are the only team here that's going to make a push. I think the Lakers are going to take a spot somewhere here. Probably, definitely number 10, but somewhere here. And if you get them in the play-in, you have a shot. The Spurs, Jacob Paletti leaving. That's it. They're tanking. And Houston, they tank every year. Hot garbage. So just look out for the Lakers here. With that new rotation, they should be able to jump in right in here, and it's gonna be a good play-in tournament. Once the Lakers get there, let's just, for argument's sake, say that they can win their play-in tournament, and let's say it's the Lakers and the Warriors who make it out, and let's put the Warriors at number 7 and the Lakers at number 8. The Warriors can beat the Grizzlies, and the Lakers can beat the Nuggets. So it's gonna be a wild playoff. If you're better, this might be the year where it's underdogs all the way. So yeah, so that's the trade deadline in a nutshell. I spoke for way longer than I wanted to, but just with the flurry of moves and the implications that it has on the NBA, it is going to be absolutely wild for the rest of the year. And I think Kendrick Perkins said on ESPN, it is like we're starting a new season. Everything that you've had a preconceived notion about in the first half of the season, throw that in the garbage. It's over with. It's done. We're done. That's it. Bye-bye. We don't know what the hell's going to happen, and it's going to be great to watch. It's great theater. Go look up all the Twitter memes that came up out of this situation with the trade deadline. I know that I'm exhausted, and I'm just a fan, so I can't even imagine the players and the whirlwind. Some players were traded multiple times in one day, in a few hours, mind you. So very interesting. We have a lot to do, and of course, if you're into gaming or whatever the case may be, I'm going to be playing with all the new teams on NBA 2K, so be on the lookout over my channel, the channel that you're watching right now, and take a look. It's going to be insane. Anyways, thanks for the rant. Thanks for listening to the rant. I will see you guys the next time there's some type of NBA news. Maybe we'll do something right before the playoffs. We'll do a playoff outlook or something like that. We do these like once every few months, but it's fun. It's fun. This is what we do. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.